I am out and about in some cold, wet, miserable conditions. But it was winter days like these that unlocked some of the most enjoyable driving experiences that I have ever had on track. And those days were in my BMW E36 track car, a machine that I built up from scratch with a friend. That car taught me more about driving, spannering and maintenance than any other that I've owned, and it unlocked all sorts of exciting experiences that I wouldn't have otherwise had. But it wasn't all pleasure. There were definitely some hard lessons learned from owning and operating an extreme road legal track car. So join me in this video as I share my lessons from that experience, and if you're thinking of building something for the track soon, hopefully there's something useful for you. I'm David, this is Autobunker. Thank you for watching. Looking back, it was a simpler time when that car was purchased, a plan formed with a friend one New Year's Eve after a few refreshments had been taken. We both didn't have children at the time and seemingly endless time to put into a car project and a build. The E36 felt perfect at the time. It was simple, rear-wheel drive and readily available at the time. We found one with a horrid blue cloth interior that nobody wanted for £1,100. Like most track builds, we focused on the obvious things: suspension, brakes, interior and safety. Air conditioning went, comfort went, any sign of extraneous weight was chucked out the door, literally into a skip. We did have designs on taking the car racing in a one-make BMW Kumo series, the tyre manufacturer, and their piece of advice was invest in a good seat. So in went the tightest seat you've ever seen with full-on head protection and 6-point racing harnesses. They were a good investment from a safety point of view, but a complete nightmare to use on the road. At the time, we really thought we'd built a proper racing car, but it was a question of optimism outrunning experience, I think. It was never going to be super competitive in that series up against the M3s and all the rest of it, but we had a great time building it. We soon came to regret some decisions on that interior. We had the circuit in mind, but we did not think about everything else in between. Long, hot drives, very noisy as all the sound insulation had gone, hard surfaces everywhere because we ripped out the door cards, and my goodness, deleting comfort was great on paper, but driving without it was a major challenge. Then came the mechanical lessons that we had to learn the hard way. We broke the engine mounts because we fitted a gearbox mount that was far too hard. We were constantly warping brake discs because we were always pushing for more and more aggressive pads on the car. That never worked out very well. We never ever got to the bottom of why the exhaust was constantly banging on the transmission tunnel, despite replacing the bushes multiple times. But these were the lessons that the car taught us. When you drive on the track and you drive it hard, any mechanical weakness gets immediately exposed. There's no hiding from it. So we always packed a toolbox with us and had a boatload of spare parts rolling around in the boot of the car that we had to unpack and repack on every single trip. But this car, much as it was painful to drive on the road, unlocked some experiences we would never otherwise have had. Having the roll cage and those super safe seats gave us confidence to drive on circuits that we would never have considered normally. We went to Spa, we went to the Nürburgring, and we went all around all manner of UK circuits and airfields. It was a question of shared adventures, shared experiences, pitching in and surviving the heat and the noise for an unbelievably fun time once we got there. We would book an event, get ourselves organised to go, put it out to our group of friends, and more often than not we'd end up with 3, 4, 5 cars joining the event and turning it into a sociable day out. It really was the nucleus of a little motorsport community, for a period of time at least. Unfortunately, we did stop using the car though, as life became busy with children, bigger careers, less and less time available to use it. Then extra barriers pop up. It's torn, it isn't insured, and it was just one thing after another that meant eventually a cover went on it. it was moved into a garage and it just stopped moving. But we did cling on to it for dear life in the vague hope that we would have the time together to use the car once again, but it never happened, and eventually we sold it and it went on for someone else to enjoy as their track project. The E36 was far from perfect. It was a flawed diamond, hot and uncomfortable, but absolutely brilliant fun when it was operating in its favourite environment, on the track. It gave me access though, access to shared learning experiences, shared driving experiences and new knowledge about driving, and shared adventures. What it taught me was that the best cars aren't about raw performance, they're about the opportunity to say yes to new experiences, and that 328i opened up the chance to say yes to all sorts of driving adventures that I never would otherwise have had. I do miss it. I'm David, this is Autobunker. Thank you very much for watching, and join me in another video on the channel very soon.